Hi, people. I'm so motivated lately. I come almost every day. I am so happy about this motivation. I don't know where it comes from, but I just went there. I don't explain it, but yeah, I'm happy that I come here almost every day. Uh, this means I am gonna finish this series very soon. I'm so happy. I have so much desire. I don't know where it comes from because I can remember in a period of time I was coming, thinking about coming, but it took to me like 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, or more than, or almost a week, a long time. And I had articles, I had stuff, but I just don't know what was obstacling me. I was all fine, all in its place, but it's still it's still complicated. I don't really know how to talk about it. It was yeah, there was no desire. I don't know what has changed. Now I am coming almost every day. It reminds me of the previous city that I was coming here every day, but of course I was just bringing a sentence. And the sentence, so I talked about it during 5 minutes, so it was not such a big stuff. Now I took another step, which is completely different, harder than before. It's about something uh, that is completely different as well, because now I'm bringing stuff from media. There is some news, some events, some just stuff that has to do with actuality in England, things that are happening in England or connected or whatever. It's just England, Great Britain. So I'm bringing articles from Sky News till the moment, and of course until I finish. I'm going to finish this series just with articles that I bring from Sky News. I won't change, any page or any website of news, media, or whatever. So I'm just doing this activity. It's a series of maybe 30 episodes. I am I am in the middle, and I'm advancing. I'm happy that I feel fresh lately. So much desire. I have a lot of positive energy. I don't know where it came from. It surprises me, but it makes me also very happy because I really need to be going and I should be working. I shouldn't stop. And of course, I am this sort of person. I am sticky. I when I start something, so it's like yeah, it's started. It's going to finish. It has to be like that. I am so yeah. I try to train myself to be so tough with the things that I'm taking or the things that I'm caring about. I never took things just like slightly or just like somehow. I never doubt about what I believe in. What I believe in when I believe something. So that's you know, I can't escape from me. I won't. I'm not giving up anything that is important for me. Uh, I am this sort of person. So I'm so happy that I'm coming like more frequently, almost every day, and I'm bringing. Well, these articles are is harder than the stuff I brought in the previous episode. I'm sorry, series. It's this one is way harder, of course, because it's about an article. I have to take a look. It's a little bit long, and different vocabulary, different context, different topics. It's just when I see something that does worth bringing, so I bring it. But before it was a sentence and then 5 minutes. Well, I used almost the same vocabulary because it has to be much with thinking, and when something you talk about thinking, so you always have to use your own vocabulary because, as I said before, when you learn a language, you become like a singer. Like it's like music. Learning a foreign language is like singing. Every singer has his own or her own rhythm, words, way of singing, way of seeing music, etc. That has to do so much with thinking. So I can remember exactly with my previous series. It was about sayings, words of motivation, wisdom, sometimes philosophy. It was this sort of things, and I was always about around the same vocabulary, because when you learn a foreign language, you take your vocabulary, your mechanism, your structure, your way of speaking. It becomes personal. You're gonna be like different than everybody else when it comes to speaking that foreign language that you learn, because it takes you. So when you build up, it starts from nothing and then you become a speaker. And of course, it depends what you consumed in your way till you become a good speaker. So it gives you your own way of speaking, and of course, it changes also way of thinking. People who learn and speak foreign languages, I think they catch me in this point, because the same happens to me. When I speak English, I'm somebody. When I speak Spanish, I seem somebody else. When I speak my mother tongue, Tamazight or Arabic or French, I become, in every language I become a bit different. I can notice this, and people also tell me this. So it's something that happens to me in the reality. Something that I have. It's I'm just saying it. When I speak, I change from one language to the other. I become almost a completely different speaker, or sometimes has to, even my way of thinking changes. So this is what's good about foreign languages. And when you learn foreign languages, also gives you the ability to summarize, to understand, and to catch the messages and the exact points. And most of the time, you don't need people to speak so much or to even finish, the conversation after just talking a little bit about something. It's hard. It's easy to catch, their points, where they are driving at, everything. It becomes easy to understand people, not just what they are saying. It just also what's behind, what they are, what's behind the things that they talk about. Where they come from. The secrets. Why they speak like that. So it's you find it all. Everything becomes clear. So I think it develops a little bit, not a little bit, a lot intelligence of human being, because in just one mind you have different functions. So I think it's a big, a very important way of of training the brain, the mind, everything, because just a person can just build up a foreign language in his mind, in himself, which will be enough for him, to use it in just in the real life, something that they didn't know before, and now they use it and they become natural speakers. So it's like becoming another person. That's why I just have also a problem, because I am I am a lot ambiguous. A lot of people don't understand me. I'm sorry for that. I just don't pretend to be ambiguous, or just to bother anybody with my with my nature, with my way of thinking, with my way of behaving or reacting. Just I am ambiguous because I have a lot of different things in mind. So nobody. It's hard to catch someone, who speaks different languages, and that's not because they pretend to be hard or to be ambiguous. Just they have the ability, which is good. So you can just like just you have, as they say in some parts of the world. So there are people who with different faces. Of course, I am, and I can confess that I am one of the most phony people in the world. I am so fake. I'm good with it, but I just try to live my life, and I don't pretend to betray anybody or just harm anybody. I'm just like, I have this ability, and I could see it in a number of people. When it comes to lying, it's also incredible I can lie better than the vast majority of the people of the world, if I have to, of course. Well, but I am a nice person, really, and I love and enjoy so much learning languages, foreign languages, because I can see myself change. I know what it they give to me, so I don't regret. So I'm still getting better. I'm still working. It's still difficult, but this is the joy that I find in this field, where because it's like the happiness is in the process. So I am happy that I'm always going through a process of improving, and I am not stopping at any point. I get any level, or I can just become a writer. If I write books, I will still care maybe about developing myself a little bit more. But well, so it's not easy to, you know, to just to combine everything, because I have to work, I have to pay, I have to live, I have to take care of myself, I have to a number of things. But if I were rich, I would stay in my entire life in the universities, just studying. Yeah, it's just it's like a drug for me. I'm addicted to improving. I'm not doing so much. Sometimes I'm so lazy. I hate myself because I critique myself so much. I talk to myself. I don't know about the others. There are some people who just have this auto-critique or self-critique, and I am one of those. I just don't I just don't forgive myself so much when I am lazy, when I am not doing very well, when I am not just you know just wasting time. I feel like useless most a lot of times. It brings me down. This happens to me. I am this sort of anxious person. I don't know. I can change. I so many times try to just to fix myself a bit better, but was never could never be possible. But of course, I improve also globally myself. But sometimes I just say, you know what, it would be better if you improve certain things a bit faster. But I should also be free and natural. So slowly should I should forgive myself and give myself a chance because somebody if somebody thinks that I don't deserve it, so I am here to convince myself that I deserve a chance, and more than a chance, because I am tolerant with myself, despite the fact that I critique and push myself forward to keep going and caring and improving, and all that will make will make my life better, make me a better person, or better with abilities, or etc. I accept all the things that will bring something positive, whether when it comes to health, education, profession, knowledge, everything. I accept the good. I was born for the good, really. But I'm challenging. I'm still fighting. I will keep on because I am like this. I would have, I would, I would have, if I would have been very much happier if, well, I cannot bring all my personal stuff here. Sometimes I just should be talking a little bit, should be I just in so superficial, superficial a bit. Cannot go to just to open my heart and my mind and make it visible publicly. Should I should hide some secrets. I think it's good, but at least keep some respect. You cannot say everything. Anyway, so I'm bringing articles from Sky News, things that are happening, connected or have something to do with the UK, the Great Britain. Okay, I bring I use just the website of Sky News, which is media, of course. In the internet, I select the I select the articles that I find interesting, appropriate, nice to talk about, and I bring them here. I read them. First I speak, then I read them, then I explain words or the vocabulary, and then I finish. Okay? And that's how I do this activity. I'm showing a technique, a way of improving oneself. Because you add vocabulary, you read loud, and you speak, and so it's a good technique to survey, to study, I text, to analyze, to improve just work just alone. I think it's really very fantastic. For me it works, it helps me so much. So I got the article of today is about is about COVID, of course. England is discussing the entrance of students to the schools, just to start this school year season, or the school year for kids and youngsters to go back to school, despite the fact that there is still possibility of propagation of coronavirus. And they have their 3 words vocabulary. Okay, so there is a picture of students in the classroom with the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So it's about going back to study in the UK. Okay, despite that there is still probability that coronavirus can harm or can surprise, but in England or in the UK they are ready to face worse circumstances in case this plan fails. Hopefully not, it will be successful, but they're just taking their taking their steps, and they're careful. They do it with a plan, and that's why they will send back those students to study, to start a year season of in the UK. Well, I read the text, I'm taking so much time. Okay, I read the text and then I move to the next step. All right, so COVID-19 children must return to normal pre-pandemic experience in schools, Education Secretary says. The minister refuses to rule out a potential surge in cases as children and young adults return to classrooms despite being asked repeatedly on Sky News. The Education Secretary has insisted children must return to a normal pre-pandemic experience in schools despite the risk of an increase in COVID cases. Kevin Williamson said testing would be key to guarding against rising infection rates, but refused to outline what the government's contingency plan for other potential measures might involve. Experts are predicting a surge in COVID-19 cases linked to classrooms reopening in England and Wales, and the minister refused to rule out a potential rise despite being asked repeatedly on Sky News. He told Niall Peterson, "This is why we are doing the testing program, and we are encouraging children to take part in it. Parents and of course teachers and support staff as well. This is a way of rooting out COVID. We are trying to strike the constant sensible balance of actually giving children as normal experience in the classroom as possible, but also recognizing we are still dealing with a global pandemic. He added that there was capacity to both give vaccinations to 12 to 15 year olds and deliver a booster program. We are we have got the capacity to be able to deliver vaccinations for children as well as deliver booster booster program. So it's not either or, he said. It's a situation about making sure we combat this virus as best as possible, and we are ready. If we get the get go from Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization, we are ready. The NHS, which has been so successful in rolling out this program of vaccination, is ready to go into schools and deliver that vaccination program for children. Mr. Williamson said other measures could be introduced if necessary. Of course, we do have a contingency framework if there's an areas of particular need that we do have to take further action, he said. While declining to explain what this might include, he said, the government was absolutely clear it wanted to avoid a return to bubbles in schools and while classes and year groups being sent home due to outbreaks of infection. Head teachers' unions have voiced concerns as many safety measures to combat the spread of the virus in schools have been eased since the end of the last term. It has prompted the government to face claims it's implementing a hate and hope strategy over the return of pupils. The text is done. It's so short. I don't know what has changed lately. I'm luckily finding just short articles. Before it was 3-4 pages of long, articles. They were difficult to finish because they were so long, and there were some names and some words which are hard, complicated. So they will. I'm moving and I'm showing up. Okay. So those who care about what I'm doing, I doubt that a lot of people care about this. So I have everything there. So I'm showing away. I'm working myself. I'm coming here to give a class for myself, and so it's generosity of mine, so people can see it. Well, it's about going back to school in England, in the UK, in England, and Wales. So the government stands for just avoiding, the risk, and just like maybe better not go, or etc. But that's what they stand for. Government is but there are other leaders, so who dare to take these kids, to start their schooling year just because they have a lot of reasons that pushes them to send the kids to school with their safety, because they consider that they have sensitized people, they just have a lot of people vaccinated, and they are also ready to deliver vaccinations to the schools if necessary, and they are even ready for worse than that in case this doesn't just doesn't go. For example, just like if some infections of coronavirus spread again, so they are ready to face any circumstances, and also they will have they will be, of course, cautious, of course, so careful, and there is so much sensibility. People are aware of this pandemic, and so they think that it's a good decision to go and face this virus till defeated, because there will be collaboration of teachers, of supporters, of students, and just to all get involved and do things properly and keep, facing this virus till disappears. In England, they don't want to give up to coronavirus, to this pandemic. They just believe that they can face it and they can just defeat it. I'm happy about that. Hopefully, their awareness and their desire to go on will succeed, and coronavirus will lose to England. Hopefully, because they are ready to react in any in under and what in for any circumstances, for in case things will go worse. So they have what they have ability. They are ready to just react to any sort of situation they get, but they are sending their kids to school to carry on their studies, and this is it. So you cannot give up to your enemy. So for once you give up, you are done. I think it's a good way of looking at it. It's I'm happy that they are brave. They believe that they can face this virus and defeat it, and save a schooling year for those students that they belong to Great Britain, England, or the UK, of course, because sometimes there is people should have to live with problems or hard circumstances or hard times. This is just one of those, but it's defeatable. This is what these people believe. I find it smart and brave. Just really, I should just clap to them, applaud. Well, so I spoke a bit. I'm showing away. Said it a number of times. So I'm studying. I'm taking benefits from this myself, in the first place, and so I'm generous. I publish what I do. Is there. People, I don't care. People can have any opinion. They can judge, whatever they want. So I cannot just, I don't pretend to just people to love me. I'm just talking. I don't know who listens to me sometimes. But I'm generous and I'm doing this technique of studying, and I put it there, so people can just people think free. People just know what they do, what they think. But what I do is there. All right. It's what's up to the people is up to the people, and what's up to me is myself, my life, what you don't say, and I'm sharing with you what I share. And so okay, so from here there is someone, and from there so there in front of the screen there are other people. All right, so I have 3 words. I have vocabulary. So the first word is contingency. Contingency means possibility, likelihood, probability. So contingency in the context of this text, this has to do with possible spread of coronavirus. But in the UK they are ready to face it if it goes south. There is a contingency, but in the UK, in England, the United Kingdom, they are ready to face it in its worst cases. So contingency means probability, possibility, likelihood. So just like possibility in case it's possible, but hopefully not. Anyway, I have another word, bubbles. Bubbles, things that contain gas, for example, or air. Just like have a lemonade. You bring a lemonade, so you see when you pour it in the glass, so you see bubbles. Or when you bring like beer, contains when you pour it in the glass, so you see bubbles. Bubbles are those pores that come from something that contains air or gas. Okay, and the last word is pupils. Pupils. Pupils means students. Students in the classroom. So I have pupils are these ones. This is not a pupil, but this kid and the other one are pupils. They're students. They study. They're in the classroom. So when I was a kid, I was a pupil. I was a student. I was going to school to study. I had teachers. So teachers have pupils, and pupils go to study with their teachers at schools or classroom. So pupils means students. So yeah, I'm happy that I'm coming just more frequently. I just don't take so long time to to come. I come every couple of days, 3. Before it was 1 week, sometimes more than that. I just have this, I just have this motivation. I don't know. I'm so thankful about it. Happy about it, really, because when I do something good, I feel better. I feel good. So I just don't know where this desire, this positive energy comes from. I'm almost coming every day to do article. Not like before, it was about words of wisdom, motivation, philosophy. It was just about sentence. I come here 5 minutes, done. Now it's about half an hour. It's about it's about an article, and I'm almost coming every day. I just feel some big energy lately, and I'm so happy about it. As I said, as I say, I am happy to come here to share with you this simple and small thing, right? So I will be back. I still have episodes to add to finish this series, and of course I will find something different and I will bring it to share it with you. This is special for me, and